Welcome to the deep dive.
Hello.
Today, we're getting into something really significant, especially if you're tracking India's economic and, well, environmental direction. Think UPSC prep.
Absolutely. We're talking about India's big push into green hydrogen.
Exactly. And the key question we want to tackle is what's actually in India's green hydrogen strategy and, how's it going so far?
Right. And for this, we're mainly looking at insights from a speech by the Secretary of the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. This was at the World Hydrogen Summit last year, reported by PIB.
Okay, so let's start with the big picture. What's the overall ambition here?
Well, India's aiming high. They want to be a sort of a global hub for green hydrogen production.
And they have a good starting point, right, with renewables.
Definitely. That's the leverage. They've got, what, over 223 gigawatts installed capacity already?
Yeah, something like 108 gigabull solar, 51 gigabull wind. It's a fast-growing area for them.
And this whole green hydrogen thing, it fits perfectly with their wider goals, energy independence by 2047.
And net zero by 2070.
Right. So hydrogen is a key piece of that puzzle.
A cornerstone, you could say.
So how are they making this happen? There's a specific mission, isn't there?
Yes, the National Green Hydrogen Mission. Kicked off in 2023.
With a decent chunk of funding, too, I remember.
Around USD 2.4 billion allocated. It's basically their comprehensive plan, the blueprint.
Okay, so what's in the blueprint? What are the main objectives?
Well, there are a few key parts. First, drumming up demand. Getting industries, transport, et cetera, ready to actually use green hydrogen.
Makes sense. You need buyers.
And second, incentivizing production, making it attractive for companies to actually produce the stuff domestically.
And there's a big production target, right? By 2030.
That's the headline figure, 5 million metric tons, 5 MMT per year by 2030.
Wow, 5 MMT, that sounds like a lot. What kind of impact would that have?
Well, the projection is avoiding nearly 50 MMT of CO2 emissions annually. That's pretty significant.
Huge climate benefit. What about economically? Also big potential there. They're hoping this attracts something like USD 100 billion in investment.
100 billion and jobs.
Yeah, potentially over 600,000 jobs generated. So it's environment and economy.
Okay, that's the plan. It sounds ambitious. But what about actual progress? What's happened on the ground since 2023?
They've actually made some concrete steps. For instance, they've already allocated production capacity, about 862,000 tons per year, to 19 different companies.
Okay, so capacity is being assigned. What about the tech needed, like electrolyzers?
Good point. They've also awarded capacity for manufacturing electrolyzers, about 3,000 megawatts annually to 15 firms. Building that domestic capability is key.
Right, can't just rely on imports. Are we seeing any, real-world tests yet?
We are. Pilot projects are starting up. They're testing green hydrogen in steel making, for example.
Interesting. Steel is a tough sector to decarbonize.
Exactly. Also in mobility, so vehicles and even in shipping. Plus, they've launched a green hydrogen certification scheme.
Ah, certification. That's
Yeah.
important for standards and trade, I guess.
Crucial for quality control and making sure everyone's on the same page domestically and, internationally too.
It feels like the government is really pushing this from multiple angles.
Very much so.
Yeah.
The secretary called it a whole-of-government approach. For example, they've eased some rules, like exempting green hydrogen and ammonia plants from certain environmental clearances to speed things up.
Streamlining the process. Makes sense.
And they've picked out specific ports, Kandla, Paradip, Tuticorin, to become green hydrogen hubs, infrastructure focus.
And it's not just the central government, is it? States are involved, too.
That's right. About 15 states have already announced their own policies to support green hydrogen, so it's filtering down.
Okay, but it can't all be smooth sailing. What are the main roadblocks or challenges they're facing?
Well, cost is a big one. Right now, green hydrogen is still quite expensive to produce compared to, say, fossil fuel-based hydrogen. Bringing that cost down is critical.
The usual challenge with new tech? Anything else?
Yeah, getting standardized frameworks in place across the whole chain, production, transport, use, and just building out the necessary infrastructure, like pipelines or storage, those are hurdles.
So, to wrap up, India is clearly serious about this green hydrogen push. Ambitious targets, solid policy backing, and, well, some early progress already visible.
Definitely. It's a determined effort to become a leader in this space.
And for you listening, especially if you're preparing for the UPSC, this is really a vital area. It touches energy security, economic growth, climate action, all key themes.
Exactly. The implications are pretty broad.
So it gives you a good overview. Now, a final thought for you to consider. Looking at all this, Which sectors in India do you think will actually be transformed most rapidly by this green hydrogen revolution?
Interesting question.
Let us know what you think in the comments, and of course, please like and subscribe for more deep dives like this.
And remember, the information we discussed today was based on reporting from the Press Information Bureau, specifically that speech by the MNRE secretary.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.